The voice of the people, the voice of Edo. If you want to get the authentic news for Edo, the way it be, that's why they show and all the cut anything come on. A VOP TV.
Hey guys, what's up? How you all doing? They call me Lovisha Nelson One, your number one celebrity host, and you are watching Voice of the People Television, VOP. Stay tuned.
Uyi Osarite is my name. I am a friend of the microphone, Voice of the People TV. That name is unique, and the brand is very sweet. I like the packaging. Picture qualities, camera qualities, and then of course, the quality of human beings that I see sometimes on your channel. I talk and get paid, and I look forward to being in your studios.
Oh yes, you are on to Voice of the People TV, live here in Benin City, the cradle of black civilization. What are you waiting for? Tune in, bro.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
What happens in the hush behind hangar doors? Who signs the papers that gamble with lives? Which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings? If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet, if you've ever stared out of that tiny window and wondered who's really in control of the skies, it isn't just flight, it's power, it's politics, it's pressure sealed in steel. We're peeling back the clouds from runway risks to sky-high secrets. We're diving deep where most dare not to look. Aviation Scope, every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is turbulence. Aviation Scope, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.
From the views on the street,
We go to bed empty hunger.
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lawn.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people. In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues, on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations. But who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence in Nigeria's education system. Edu Dialogue, Saturdays, 3 p.m., only on VOP TV. We break the biggest stories, from missing funds to policy failures. We ask the tough questions and demand real answers. Edu Dialogue, this Saturday, 3 p.m. on Voice of the People Television.
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more, tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count.
Hello there, my name is Damilola Ogunsi, also known as the Goldfish.
Hi, my name is Chike Bright Emmanuel. I'm an actor and a filmmaker.
Hello peeps, my name is Yomi E. Adejumo.
Hi everyone, I'm Paul Utomi.
Hi everyone, my name is Stacey Benjamin and this is Voice of the People TV.
I need you to keep it locked to VOP TV. See, I'm looking for good entertainment. You want to get good movies, good music, politics, talk shows, sports and entertainment. You really want a channel that gives you everything you need without you having to run around. VOP is where you are. That's Voice of the People.
If you're not listening to this, you're not one of us. And you deserve to be killed. Scrap charge. Don't be killed, but watch it. Or I'll find you. And I want you.
And you are locked on VOP TV. Don't go nowhere. This is where the juice is. This is where all you need for entertainment, politics, movies, and whatnot.
And keep watching VOP TV.
So keep it locked because I'm locked already, man, and it's money back guarantee. So you're gonna have a good time because I do.
And please keep watching VOP TV.
I won't want you actually. I beg you, subscribe, watch it. If not, whatever you see.
You better not touch that die because VOP is the plot.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check, only on Voice of the People television, where your health has a voice.
My name is Tao Familoni, and here's to VOP TV. Keep watching, stay tuned, do not touch that dial.
Arararara, my name is Made Kuti, and you're watching VOP TV. Keep watching.
Welcome, my name is Zika Davis. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys, viewers, everybody, boys and girls. This is VOP TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice is heard.
To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more. Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People.
Hey guys, what's up? How you all doing? The coming of Isha Nelson One, your number one celebrity host, and you are watching Voice of the People television, VOP. Stay tuned.
Uyi Osarite is my name. I am a friend of the microphone, Voice of the People TV. That name is unique, and the brand is very sweet. I like the packaging. Picture qualities, camera qualities, and then of course, the quality of human beings I see sometimes on your channel. I talk and get paid, and I look forward to being in your studios.
Oh yes, you are on to Voice of the People TV. Live here in Benin City, the cradle of black civilization. What are you waiting for? Tune in, bro.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not a spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Join Moses, Chukuma, and Fina on Voice of the People TM. Voice of the People television. Now you have more than a voice.
The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before.
Welcome back to the Media News and Voice of the People television. Still in the news, the Igbo Nine Great People Assembly has held its Lagos end of the year celebration, bringing together community leaders who honored distinguished members and addressed key issues affecting Igbo residents in the state. The event also sparked broader conversations about demolitions, justice, and rising ethnic tensions. Our correspondent has more on this report.
Used the event to address It was a vibrant cultural gathering in Lagos as the Igbo Nile Great People's Assembly held its annual end-of-year celebration. The event brought together Igbo and Yoruba traditional rulers, market heads, and social cultural representatives to promote unity and reflect on the year's event. Two prominent community figures, the Eze Igbo of Agoro and the Eze Igbo of Mushin, were honored for their support to Igbo residents across Lagos. The organization also used the event to address shimmery issues affecting Igbo community. The national president strongly criticized the justice system over sentencing of IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu.
When the justice system has collapsed, when it has failed, the nation has gone down completely. I don't know where to start because we have corrupt judges everywhere.
The National Secretary Elder Masi also lent his voice.
This war that is against Igbos, I will call it war because it has gotten from crisis stage, conflict stage, now it is war. Igbos are no pushovers all over the world, and there's nowhere, any country you go to, you don't find an Igbo man, that country does not exist. So we must not be stifled for anything. So the Igbos should rise, be themselves, but let them not fight. Let them not be in conflict with any other tribe or organization.
He also called for global unity among Igbos, saying the assembly stands ready to defend any Igbo person facing injustice. Another speaker, engineer Dr. Victor Ezeoke Ezeindingbo of Agora, Ikorodu, said the gathering serves not just as a celebration, but as a time to reconnect with culture and chart a way forward. Reflecting on recent tension between Igbos and Yoruba communities, he said Nigerians must see their differences, the way couples navigate cultural backgrounds in marriage, something that improves with time, education, and tolerance.
Igbos don't understand Yoruba too fully. Yorubas don't even understand Igbo at all. So it becomes very, very difficult to have them in a very, very peaceful marriage and cohabit easily in Lagos. But I believe it's just the beginning. It's getting better. If you look at it from start, it's getting better. I mean, people are being educated. People are being more tolerant. People are being more understanding. Forget what is happening is just politics. Politics will come, politics will go.
He expressed optimism that political decisions around Kanu's case may still shift. He urged Igbos to remain steadfast, obey the law, and continue excelling in commerce, education, engineering, and innovation.
About Mazi Kalu's situation, I would say it's highly political and it's been looked into. I'm very, very sure we have a good listening leaders. I'm very sure when they go in and sleep, when they wake up, they will reconsider. And it will be very free. I'm very sure I have that conviction within me. Within this period, it should be out. I'm very, very sure about that.
Concerns over demolition in Lagos also resurfaced. Community leader Dr. John criticized what he called discriminatory treatment of Igbo property.
I'm telling the Yorubas and using this opportunity to tell them to handle this very issue as per se we are one Nigeria. The way they are treating Igbos, that was what brings up this agitation. And there's somebody that is agitating, you cannot tell him stop agitation, because if you want to tell him to stop agitation, then look at the reason why he is agitating, then solve the problem so that we will live like brothers.
On his part, Yoruba leader Mustafa Olarinraju emphasized proper enforcement of building permits, warning that sudden demolitions threaten investment and deepen ethnic anxiety.
Appeal to the government to do the right thing in order for them to check very well before they give them the permit to build their houses on. Not that after they are finished building their houses, that's when they are going to come back and start demolishing. many investors will be afraid to come to Lagos and invest their money when it comes to real estate.
While the event marked the end of year-end celebration and cultural pride, it's also provided a platform for frank discussion on justice, ethnic harmony, demolitions, and the future of Nigeria unity. Leaders from both communities say dialogue, tolerance, and fair governance remain essential to sustaining peace in Lagos and across the country. From Aga Palaswe in Lagos, I am Onyeka Golo reporting for VOP TV.
Thank you so much, Onyeka Golo, for that wonderful coverage. Now, some industrial matter. The Association of Resident Doctors in the FCT has suspended its indefinite strike after 30 days of industrial action. AROD FCTA President Dr. George Ebong said the strike, which began November 1, 2025, was halted following the approval of their demands by FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. The doctors warned they could resume action if the approved demands are not implemented within 4 weeks. The strike aimed at improving working conditions, welfare and remuneration had disrupted medical services across FCT, delaying patients' care and putting pressure on remaining staff. This report says that the corporate offices of Nest Oil Limited in Victoria Island, Lagos, have been taken over by a court-appointed receiver following a restorative injunction issued by the Lagos State Court of Appeal. Nest Oil was earlier placed under receivership by a consortium of lenders over a reported $2 billion debt based on a federal high court order. The company and its affiliate, the Conde Energy Limited, later secured a separate high court injunction asking the receiver to hold action. However, the Court of Appeal has now reinstated the original order and police moved in on Monday to take possession of the company's headquarters. Still in the news, former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami has dismissed EFCC allegations that he duplicated the recovery process of the $310 million of Bachelor loot, calling the claims baseless, illogical, and devoid of substance. In a statement signed by his media aide, Mohammed Malami confirmed he was invited by the EFCC on November 28, 2025, over alleged abuse of office and money laundering tied to the recovery effort. He said both accusations collapsed under factual scrutiny. Malami also maintained that no such recovery had been completed before he assumed office in 2015, stressing that funds are only deemed recovered once lodged in the Federation account. Elsewhere, Governor Ademola Adeleke of Osun State has imposed a 24-hour curfew on Ibajo, Boluwaduro local government area following a breakdown of law and order in the community. The arrest, which began Sunday night, was linked to tensions after the death of Prince Adeboyega Famodun last week. In a statement, Commissioner of Information Kolabo Alimi said the governor ordered an immediate lockdown until normalcy is restored in the area. Adeleke confirmed the violence, warning that anyone instigating or participating in arrest will face the law. You're watching the Media News and Voice of the People television. Joining us to help analyze the Media News, because that's a segment we've approached already, is Shadrach Odubai, who is the SA Youth Affairs to former Governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki. And he is here in the capacity of a public and political affairs commentator. Good afternoon, Comrade Shadrach Odubai.
Good afternoon. The pleasure is mine being here.
Good to have you on today's Media News.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. The pleasure is mine.
All right, let's start off without wasting much time with the first story that we had on the bulletin today, and that is about the ambassadorial nomination, which most Nigerians are reacting to. First, what do you have? I hope you've seen the list. I hope you've seen the nomination list, the career ambassadors and non-career ambassadors that the presidency have sent to the Senate for approval and also scrutiny if need be. Have you seen the list?
Yes, I've seen the list.
What do you make of that list? What do you make of the list? How do you perceive that list, given the fact that some persons made it to the list? So have the immediate past INEC chairman, Mahmoud Yakubu, nominated also on that list on the platform of a career ambassador. And also, so many other Nigerians, so many other persons, including former First Lady and former governors also made it to the list, which Nigerians are beginning to ask questions about. Also, we have the likes of Reno Mercury, who was a strong critic of the president before he assumed office as the president of Nigeria, also made it to the list. A call, a move, which APC or some faction of the APC have called for the president to reconsider.
And for me, the list is littered with so many political leaders and masters, heavyweights, many of them who have bad and scandalous reputations representing Nigeria. It's not a good thing for the Nigerian public image. And then if you look at the 17 persons who get slated for the non-career nominees, just about one person, the man from Benue State, who is not a former this or a former that. I haven't heard one political position on that. You see, two former governors, former speakers, former first lady. Why is it so? Is it that there are no Nigerians that have the capacity to offer new energy to the Nigerian public image to help? But the man is so desperate. Bola Tinubu appears to be so desperate in his attempt to reward persons who have helped him or supported him. He's always interested in political considerations. The role of competence and the character, the capacity of the person to deliver the job is being relegated or be considered as secondary.
When you say he's being desperate, Shadrach, when you say the president is being desperate, how do you mean? Can you help us explain that? He was a two-time governor of Lagos State and now the president of Nigeria. He occupied a higher echelon. So how desperate do you think the president is at this point to, go ahead to use the prerogative, which I believe is embedded to him through the Constitution, to appoint ambassadors?
He used the prerogative, which I believe is to appoint ambassadors.
As much as he has the prerogative to do so, but it shouldn't be a total political consideration. It shouldn't be using it to reward his political loyalists and surrogates and cronies, all of those persons who have worked with him in the APC. And for crying out loud, many of them do not have what it takes to represent the image of Nigeria, especially in this time where Nigeria is struggling to reposition and rebrand its image in the international community. You bring someone like Reno Mercury that Nigerians know talks from both sides of the mouth. What's the level of credibility? How will his word be seen as worthy or viable if he comes to the table to discuss with other firms? For me, it's a wrong step in the wrong direction. Many of those persons have no business representing the public image. They're not just representing Bola Tinubu, they're representing Nigerians in international community and international space.
Are you saying, Comrade Shadrach,
can vouch for their competence and their character in particular? Because
are you saying that the president does not really know what is good for him? Because in the words of the senior special assistant to president on foreign affairs and protocol, Ademola Oshodi, she said that the president knows what he's doing. As a matter of fact, that the appointment which we have, or which Nigerians are complaining about, shows that the leader has to appoint or nominate trusted allies or long-time associates to help push, his administration forward. Are you saying at this point that the government is not aware or does not really know what it is doing by appointing the close associates and cronies or allies to help champion the interests of Nigeria in the international space?
Yeah, but the challenge is this: whatever they say, they are not being honest in their remarks. And I strongly believe that if Bola Tinubu understands what's imperative for him, what's best four persons from the whole of South, while you have 11 persons from the southwestern region. And that shows that the operation is too much. They brought in more than other two ethnic groups. The constitution are purely based on ethnic and political sentiment. The role of competence and character is not captured. And whatever they are saying is for me, is a bit misplaced, because the reality of ground is that Nigeria will further deepen its poor reputation and image in public international space. And it's not healthy for the average Nigeria, both home and abroad, and for foreign investors too.
All right, let's move away from that story to another one that has to do with the Senate beginning the three-day national summit today to help address the current country's deteriorating security situation. Recall that the Senate, in its wisdom, decided to involve all geopolitical zones for them to have the regional summit, for them to provide or profess solution on how we're going to end the issue of insecurity in Nigeria. And today, I believe traditional rulers and people from the grassroots also will join the Senate in this national summit, 3 days national summit. Well, what are your expectations from the summit? And also, I think there's a report also making rounds on social media saying that the president have decided to look into the names made available by a country in UAE as top financiers of terrorism in Nigeria.
For me, my calculation is that the way and manner they have chosen to go about the issue of insecurity, talking about the 3-day summit of the senators, they need to go and reposition the Nigerian law. They need to arrange the system whereby states, because I strongly believe that the Nigerian military, as it's currently being constituted, does not have the capacity to engage or perhaps to solve the problem of insecurity. How can we be talking about many of them? Their recommendation in time past have been to increase the workforce, boost their morale, and make adequate provisions for the military, buy military gears for them. And if you look at the money we'll be spending so much, it's so huge that there's nothing to show for what is being put into the military. Because for me, there was a time the Boko Haram were being carried during the time of President Muhammadu Buhari, where bandits were being brought into the Nigerian military through amnesty to say, they are repented, they are not repented Boko Haram, and listen to the Nigerian military. Those has really infiltrated the military. How can bandits, which are said to be less than 5,000 in numbers, these are not my figures, are the figures I got from Shehu Sani, a former senator of the Nigerian Republic in Kaduna, who said that these bandits are down to 5,000. Yet the Nigerian army, they are about 180,000 strong. Nigeria police over 300,000 strong. And yet, you are talking about recruiting more persons to fight who? 5,000 bandits. How can Nigeria, who is a country that went abroad to search for Nnamdi Kanu, trade him across the globe, and eventually caught him in Kaduna, in Kenya, extradited him to Nigeria, and have sentenced him to jail, we are not able to catch bandits that are living under their very nose in Niger, in Nasarawa, in Kaduna, in Katsina, in Borno, and here they come out with this. So the Nigerian government, I've argued before that the APC, this whole insecurity issue is an APC thing. It was the APC who brought all these bandits into state, used it as a weapon to unseat Goodluck Jonathan, and to siphon Nigerian resources. Imagine Goodluck Jonathan did never spend up to 1 billion in buying military gas to combat insecurity. He spent about 679 million, but Buhari spent 260 billion.
If we were to check the emergence of Boko Haram insurgents, they were there even when Olusegun Obasanjo was the president of Nigeria. Moving to when we have Yar'Adua and all that, we have an issue of insecurity in Nigeria. Is it fair limiting it to a particular political party at this point?
I didn't get a question. No.
I asked if it's fair limiting the issue of insecurity to a particular political party in Nigeria, given the fact that we know that the emergence of Boko Haram insurgents, they began even when Olusegun Obasanjo was in power. So is it really being fair limiting it to or making it to be a political party affairs at this point?
Fair, because it's Nigerians that are suffering, but it's a political party. See, when you elect a man into office to solve a particular problem, and the man cannot solve the problem, the man automatically becomes the problem. That is to say, if Bola Ahmed Tinubu became president on the basis that we had Nigeria's security issue under the platform of the APC, because Nigerians were tired of banditry and insecurity, and yet the APC comes into power and they are not able to solve Nigeria's security problem, then APC is the problem. And yet, humongous resources is being voted for insecurity without nothing to show. What I believe is the way forward is what Delta State government has done. We've seen the issue of Harrison, Gashimu, Harrison, who is an NGO working with the military.
That's an elite team, of guides who are entering to the forest. They are manning their guards. They are walking, going to the beach. They are rescuing. Imagine such a man will leave Delta State and come to Edo State to catch kidnap, go rescue somebody who is not able to pay ransom and go back to his state, go back to other states. Why can't every state government put in place an elite team of that nature? Get foreign, just be 50 of them, out there with AK-47, RPG, and very sophisticated weapons. Because all of that approach will be used to fight banditry from the state level seems inconsistent because they don't have the requisite tools and the material to combat insecurity. The organ, military, Nigerian military and Nigerian police, who have those organs, they have been infiltrated by bandits and sympathizers of these Boko Haramist jihadists. And as such, those ones can't fight because even from their middle, there's compromise. So Nigeria has to now open the laws so that states, of course, I know there are some states who have said that a bandit can become a president tomorrow, or these bandits are fighting for their just rights. Let those states remain in banditry. If this thing is not an APC thing, for crying out loud, how do you explain to me that we'll do election in 2027? All the areas controlled by bandits, they will still end up having votes. Humongous. Go and look at the election results. Have you ever had any election where say, one local government in Bonu could not generate a particular amount of results because there's bandits there? No, they come out with huge numbers from Zafara to Bonu to Katsina to all those areas being served by insecurity and insurgency.
Before I let you go, let me get your opinion on the, more the story that we have here also on the bulletin about the demolition. What's the relationship between the Igbos or the foreigners in Edo State? Because I learned you are once the SA Youth Affairs to former Governor Godwin Obaseki of Edo State. What's the relationship within the host? That's the people of Edo State and the other Nigerians residing within the state while you were there, or even as of this time. Are we seeing any Igbo marginalization, demolition of their property and all that?
You're asking me about the Edos and the Lagos diaspora and their buildings being destroyed. Am I getting it right?
Yeah, I was asking about the relationship between the Edo people and other Nigerians or other persons who are residing within the state. Because, there's this much talk that we have around Lagos and some other places where a particular ethnic group is crying over marginalization, demolition of properties, and, a whole lot of other things. So I wanted to know the relationship between the people of Edo and, foreigners on their land. All right, I guess we're having a network glitch and I can't hear your submission, even though I needed you to tell me what the relationship between the people of Edo State and other people who are residing within the states are. Thank you so much, Comrade Shedrack Dubai, for being part of today's Media News. I sincerely appreciate your presence in today's news. We'll go on a quick break, and when we'll come back, the rest of the Media News continues. Glad to have you back. Still the Media News and Voice of the People television. Here in Lagos, the state government has begun activities marking World AIDS Day 2025 in line with this year's global theme, Overcoming Disruption, Transforming the AIDS Response. The Lagos State AIDS Control Agency says the theme reflects the challenges the state faced this year, including disruption that affected community HIV services. Our correspondent has more on this report.
In Lagos, the Chief Executive Officer of the Lagos State AIDS Control Agency, Dr. Folakemi Animasha, said the global team calls for sustained political will, stronger international cooperation, and a human right-based approach to end AIDS by 2030.
Many residents, particularly adolescents, key populations, and individuals in hard-to-reach areas experience delays in accessing services that are often a lifeline for early detection and care. These interruptions underscore a fundamental truth. The strength of an health response is measured not only by what happens within the clinic, but also by the reach, trust, and continuity of community engagement. When these connections falter, the opportunities for early diagnosis, timely treatment and prevention, education are reduced, and the most vulnerable populations feel the impact first.
She explained the HIV services in Lagos were affected earlier in the year when some community-based programs paused due to the US government's Stop Work Directive. The disruption slowed down testing, psychosocial support, and counseling in several communities. Adolescents, key populations, and residents in remote areas were the most impacted as community structures often serve as the first point to access to HIV care. Velasquez says community networks, peer educators, youth advocates, faith-based groups, and civil society organizations quickly adapted through door-to-door sensitization and novel testing. They restored outreach and linked newly diagnosed individuals to treatment.
As part of this year World AIDS Day agenda, Lagos State AIDS Control Agency has organized a series of activities designed not only to commemorate the day, but also to inspire, inform, and actively engage Lagosians in the HIV and AIDS response. Each event is carefully planned to foster awareness, early detection, and strengthen community resilience. HIV awareness and prevention efforts have been strengthened through religious leaders, market women, in-school platforms, and social media initiatives targeting the youth. The ongoing statewide HIV testing campaign remains the central activity of our commemoration. It ensures that residents across LGAs and LCDAs know their HIV status, support early diagnosis, facilitate timely linkage care to care, and sustain treatment adherence. This campaign reaches communities where health and social support are most needed.
From January to September 2025, Lagos recorded an estimate of 160,000 residents living with HIV, out of which more than 147,000 are currently on antiretroviral therapy. Testing numbers, however, dropped sharply, with only 222,000 tests conducted, less than 30% of the previous year total. The state ongoing free testing campaign, launched on November 18, has already screened nearly 10,000 residents, recording a positivity rate of 2%. Women and young adults aged 20 to 35 have shown the highest turnout. As part of this year's World AIDS Day activities, Lagos has lined up a religious engagement, a novelty match, awareness work, empowerment programs, and a stakeholder symposium to deepen awareness and reduce stigma. From Alausa, I am Monica Ogolo, reporting for VOP TV.
That's wonderful coverage. Away from that to some business stories. Sell-offs dominated trade on the Nigerian exchange in November 2025 as investors lost over 6.54 trillion naira amid concerns over capital gains tax, interest rates, and other macroeconomic pressures. The NGX market capitalization fell to 91.286 trillion naira last Friday, down from 97.830 trillion naira on October 31. Similarly, the all-share index dropped 6.9% to 143,520.53 points from 100,554,126.45 points in October. Week on week, the market slipped 0.14%, with the ASI closing at 143,520.53 points, while market capitalization dipped by 13 billion naira to 91.268 trillion naira. Investors traded 4.14 billion shares worth 115.98 billion naira in 1,351 deals last week, compared to 2.67 billion shares valued at 106.26 trillion naira the previous week. The financial service sector led activity with 3.36 billion shares worth 81.18 billion naira in 43,292 deals, accounting for 81.1% of total volume and 70.05% of total value. In sports, the Tigers of Nigeria defeated Rwanda 75-69 in their third qualifying game for the 2027 FIBA World Cup. Nigeria sealed the win in overtime after a tense contest at the Saleh Multidisciplinary Douros in Tunisia. The victory is their first in the qualifiers following earlier losses to Tunisia and Guinea. All three teams in the group will meet again in the second phase of qualifying, with the top three advancing to the final round. Ultimately, 5 African teams will qualify for the World Cup in Qatar, scheduled for August 27 to September 12. Moving on to entertainment stories, where Facebook and Instagram have suspended the accounts of Nigerian rapper Idris Abdulkarimi days after he released a new track titled Open Letter to Donald Trump. Abdulkarimi, in a statement, said he has been unable to access both accounts since the song dropped. Although framed as an appeal to U.S.